I'm Brittany with Bulk Texter Pro, and today we're going to go over some educational best practices. As educators, we know how important it is to stay connected to students and parents, but sending tons of messages can get overwhelming, and that's why Bulk Texter Pro is such a game changer. It helps you send messages that feel personal, even when you're communicating with a large group. In today's session, we're going to walk through some of the best practices for using this tool effectively, from keeping messages clear and supportive to staying organized and compliant. And hopefully by the end, you'll have some solid strategies to make your communication more impactful and save you time in the process. So let's get started with keeping it personal, even in bulk. One of the best features of Bulk Texter Pro is the ability to personalize messages, even when sending them in bulk. And using that CSV upload feature allows you to include student names, which makes the message feel more personal rather than your generic mass text. And it's also important to remember our tone, right? We want to keep our tone warm and supportive. Even though it's a bulk message, we don't want to sound robotic or impersonal. That little friendly touch goes a long way of keeping your students engaged. Um, Lastly, include as many details as your school leader allows to ensure clarity. The more specific you can be, like mentioning due dates or course name, is less likely to get you flooded with those follow-up questions of what course is this for? What teacher are you? What assignment are you talking about? Keeping it personal and clear helps create stronger connection with students and your parents. Staying organized and compliant is also a big one. Let's talk about length. When sending messages, it's important to keep them brief. We want to make sure that students and parents are getting key information without feeling overwhelmed. A short, clear message is more likely to be read and acted on than a long, detailed one. And sometimes that can be challenging because we have a lot to say, but it's going to take some filtering to make sure that we're giving them just what they need. Next, always log important communication in your school system. This helps keep track of communication and ensures consistency across the board. Down below, I have the most important. This is follow your school policies on text messaging and student privacy. Every school has different guidelines, so make sure that you're following what's allowed in terms of content, frequency, student data protection. Staying organized and compliant helps maintain professionalism and ensure effective communication. This is my word for the year and something that I really thrive on with Bulk Texter Pro: intentionality. Being intentional with your messages is crucial for keeping students engaged without overwhelming them. First, let's talk about avoiding message overload, is what I like to call it. If students are receiving 50 messages a week, they start tuning them out and your messages lose impact. So we want to make sure too many messages, it starts to feel like spam. So that leads to disengagement. So instead, let's focus on balancing frequency and quality to ensure that communication still remains effective. In the center, we have creating a schedule. Creating a schedule helps avoid that message overload. When you can plan out when and how often you send messages, in my opinion, ideally no more than once a week unless it's truly necessary. An example like this would be a school closure or a holiday, but if you can map out a month in advance, even better. This keeps you organized and ensures that students receive reminders and updates in the right time. Finally, have a clear purpose for every message that you send. Every text should be meaningful and necessary. Aligning it with SMART goals is a great idea so that students know exactly what's expected of them. Thoughtful, well-planned communication helps keep students on track while maintaining engagement. And in that clear purpose, I talked about SMART goals. So let's kind of look at what that means. When text messages are connecting to SMART goals, we ensure that our communication is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, just like the goals that we set for students. So your text messages should be specific. For example, instead of saying work on your assignments, we want to say complete Module 3 quiz by Friday. These clear directions help your students take action. Measurable. Students should know exactly what success to you looks like. So a message saying, submit all of your assignments to raise your grade, maybe not as measurable. If I said, hey, if you submit 3.03 and 3.05, that will raise your grade above a 70. This gives them that tangible goal that they can digest. Achievable. If a student is behind, telling them catch up on everything ASAP can feel overwhelming. So instead, guide them towards manageable steps like completing one overdue assignment per day. Relevant messages should connect directly to student success. So reminders about specific deadlines coming up, or a tutoring session, or progress updates that help keep them on track. We want to make sure that what they're receiving is relevant to their course and their success. Last but not least, that T is time bound. This is a big one for me. Always include a deadline so that students understand urgency. If you said, hey, submit your discussion as soon as they can might be 2 weeks. As soon as they can might be at the end of the month. Rather than, hey, make sure to submit your discussion post by Friday at 11. That would be great. Thanks so much. Looking forward to reading it. That time-bound goal with that touch of encouragement is going to be a lot more meaningful to those kids. So by keeping our messages aligned with SMART principles, we help students stay focused, organized, and motivated. Every text should have a purpose towards guiding them to success. So why do we personalize messages? There's three big things in my opinion. That personalization for messages isn't just about, oh, I use the student's name. It's about making them feel seen and supported and valued in their learning journey. So personalizing messages is about building relationships. When students feel recognized as individuals, they are more likely to stay motivated and engaged. And a personalized message, whether it's encouragement, a check-in, a reminder, helps create that welcoming environment where students feel comfortable to actively participate and ask questions, which is realistically and ideally our goal, is to make them feel comfortable with educators and with us, and that way they can move through their course with confidence, and a lot of that is their relationship with you. Next, that personalization builds and boosts motivation and engagement. So that relationship is the core, and then that in turn boosts motivation and engagement. So when students know that their teacher is paying attention and looking at their progress, they are more likely to take ownership of their learning. So a simple message acknowledging their hard work, offering encouragement, or providing some level of constructive feedback can make a big difference in their confidence and their willingness to push through challenges within your course. Finally, we look at supporting different paces of learning. With virtual education, not every student is in the same place or on the same level. So some are ahead, some are on track, some need a little extra. And by grouping students based on their progress, we can tailor these messages to meet their specific needs. Whether it's a reminder for students who are behind pace, a push for those that are not passing, or a motivational boost for those who are on track. So at the end of the day, personalized messages support our students and make them feel connected and empowered in their own learning. So what are some use ideas for Bulk Texter Pro? Here are just a couple. Bulk Texter Pro isn't just for reminders. It's a powerful tool to keep students informed, motivated, and on track. And here are some great ideas and ways to use it effectively. First is progress updates. This is probably the most common use. Our students thrive when they know where they stand. Even just us as humans, we thrive in all aspects of our life where we know where we stand. So, sending updates on their grades, percent complete, or last assignment submitted keeps them aware of their progress and encourages that accountability. Encouragement is key. This is my favorite. As educators, we don't want to be the bearer of bad news. We also need to celebrate success. A quick message recognizing hard work, improvement, and persistence can boost that student confidence and motivation. Subject area news, whether it's an EOC boot camp, a live lesson, extra credit opportunities, this helps you target the right students and the right courses for that particular information. Moving to the right side, testing updates. Our testing coordinators love Bulk Texter Pro. They can utilize this for end of year testing details, location changes, times, links for testing, and guidance counselors can use this for things like credit check updates, SEL lessons. The possibilities are endless. So this is not a tool just for classroom educators. Our instructional support can also utilize Bulk Texter Pro. Issuing grades, if your school has rolling enrollment, you can find those students who are finishing up an exam, finishing up their course, and let them know where they stand, whether they are nearing that completion or their exam is coming. Behind pace concerns. Now, while phone calls are always the most ideal for behind pace interventions, Bulk Texter Pro can serve as a tool to reinforce those conversations and reminders and encourage students to get back on track. So, with Bulk Texter Pro, you can deliver those clear, timely, personalized messages and communication that supports student success without overwhelming them or yourself. How does Bulk Texter Pro support this? So we have some ideas, reasons for personalization. Bulk Texter Pro sends texts by integrating with your existing texting platform. So Bulk Texter Pro actually makes messaging easier and more effective. So I'm going to break it down into 3 different features that I feel are the most helpful for educators. First, CSV upload. Instead of sending the same generic message to everyone, you can actually pull your student details and upload an Excel CSV file and personalize each text automatically. This will save you hours of work while making students feel seen and supported. Next is scheduling those messages. Timing is everything. With Bulk Texter Pro, you can schedule messages in advance so they go out exactly when you need them to. And the best part is you don't have to be at your computer when they send. As long as your monitor is open and on, those messages will go out when you have them scheduled. The last, finally, previewing messages. This is a big one for me. No one likes to send messages with typos or mistakes. This preview feature lets you double check everything before hitting send so you know the texts are accurate and that they're going to the right people. So with these tools and many more, Bulk Texter Pro helps you send smarter, more efficient, and more impactful messages without all the extra work. We've covered best practices for keeping messages personal, intentional, and actionable while staying organized and compliant. So remember, the goal isn't just to send messages, it's to communicate in a way that supports student success. And with features like CSV upload, scheduling, and message previews, Bulk Texter Pro makes it easy to reach students at the right time with the right message in a way that feels personal and supportive. Thank you for all your engagement and time today. If you have any questions and need help getting started, feel free to reach out to support@bulktexterpro.com. Now go send some impactful messages and keep making a difference.